why we explore Mars, the mysteries of the red planet, the history of water, the possibilities of life.
You learn something and then you design the next mission based on what you learn.
Has allowed us to literally go back in time on Mars.
The first picture will cover an area of 176 miles.
Mariner 4 began transmitting back images.
The first photograph that a human being has ever seen from the surface of another planet.
On August 20th, 1975, the first Viking spaceship was launched.
You are seeing something that no other human has ever seen before.
Former seas and mountains.
Huge canyons.
And liftoff of the Delta rocket with Mars Pathfinder.
That sense of wonderment and achievement and always working towards your goal.
We can do, and we will do.
And liftoff.
Touchdown confirmed.
Mars is unavoidably special.
We've landed and we've scooped.
We've roved, we've orbited.
Together we did it, but the attitude was together we can do it.
The future is what you make out of it. You can make it real.
And here we are with Mars Perseverance, 51 years later, getting ready to do the first ever Mars return mission.
Eventually, we can bring those samples back to Earth and determine for the very first time, did life exist on Mars?
The countdown to Mars is on. I'm Joshua Santor with NASA Communications here at the Kennedy Space Center. Thank you for joining us. A special thanks to our special guests for the launch of the Mars 2020 mission with the Perseverance Rover and Ingenuity robot, or helicopter, excuse me, or both robots, but the first of its kind helicopter, the first to ever be off of Earth. There's a ton going on this week. There's so many amazing briefings. So please, I encourage you to check out what's going on. Another special thanks to our social participants for joining us. I've got a great group here on stage with me today. And so we're gonna keep almost all this Q&A. We want you to ask your questions live in the chat, and then we'll try and take those in real time. The countdown to Mars really ends in February as Perseverance and Ingenuity touch down safely on the surface of the red planet. Today, or excuse me, tomorrow morning, we have probably the biggest moment before we get there, the launch on board an Atlas V rocket, carrying those two robots up into space and on the way to Mars. So a ton going on. We're gonna jump in now. I'm gonna introduce on my right, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine. If you wanna give us, I'm gonna have everybody give a kind of a brief opening statement here and then we'll just roll into questions.
Absolutely, and thank you, Josh. It's great to be here at the Kennedy Space Center for yet another amazing opportunity to launch something fantastic. There's a couple of things that make me very excited about this mission. Special importance. Number one, as you mentioned, Josh, we're going to fly a helicopter on another world. That has never been done before, and if successful, I should say when it is successful, it's going to transform how we explore other worlds in the future. We're going to be able to go to multiple destinations all at the same time on a single launch. So proving this capability is going to be a monumental kind of capability for this little agency we call NASA. And also we need to be able to create oxygen on another world. We have a directive from the president to go to Mars with humans, plant an American flag there, go with international partners, go with commercial partners. And in order to do that, we're going to need to be able to take the carbon dioxide atmosphere of Mars and turn it into pure oxygen so that we can breathe. And so the MOXIE technology demonstrator on this mission is also very exciting. I'm going to turn it over to an astrobiologist, though, Zena Cardman, our astronaut, who is in fact, one of the most well-versed people as far as microbiology that you can imagine. And one day we're going to send humans to Mars, and she might be one of them that is doing biological research on the surface of another planet. I'll let her talk about some of the exciting things regarding our first mission that is in fact astrobiology.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, Zena, I want to open by asking you, obviously as an astronaut, like you're here to explore, you're here to go into space, but Mars is a different kind of a mission. How does that strike you? Like, are you like, yeah, put me on board, let's go? Or is there like any sort of reservation there?
I'll be ready to go when NASA's ready to send us. It's, you know, a really exciting time to be part of the astronaut office, but it's also a really exciting time to be a biologist who's interested in space. I mean, I am an Earth biologist for now, but I can think of maybe no more profound question than the question of whether there's life on another planet, whether there ever was, how did it originate, and you know, this, when it touches down, is going to be the best scientist we've ever sent to the planet to answer exactly those questions. So I'm just so excited that I get to be here to watch.
Awesome. Yeah, obviously as a biologist, you're probably most interested in the rover, but Mr. Bridenstine, I'm excited for this helicopter. I mean, like, there's something just like amazing about that idea. So
Agreed.
Excited for all of it. And next, Mr. Jim Morhard, he's the Deputy Administrator for NASA. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Josh. You know, you ask what gets me excited. First off, I mean, look behind us.
Yeah.
This thing is 10 by 9 feet, 7 feet tall, and it's about the size of a mini car. And we're launching this to Mars. I mean, I mean, that's pretty exciting in itself. And Jim and Zena talked about some of the things that are on it. But you know, what excites me is really the NASA workforce. If you think about it, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And with that, you know, people have really stepped up, to say the least. It's a small organization compared to the federal government, but it's still a large organization with 17,000 civil servants as well as many, many contractors. And they came together to make sure that this mission, because it was essential, was going to happen in the middle of a pandemic. And yes, there's always conflict in organizations. That's because of each of us have a different human condition. But with that, I didn't see any of that as we went through this. And we work together as a team, and we continue to. And that's what really excites me. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And finally, certainly last but not least, Ms. Janet Petro, our Deputy Administrator here at the Kennedy Space Center. And I'm hoping that you can tell us a little bit about what we're about to be photobombed.
I will.
So tell us why you're excited for Mars and who this is.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Let me just start by saying, you know, when 2020 came along, we thought we were going to be busy. We thought we were going to have a good year at the Kennedy Space Center, and this week is where really it's all coming together. I'm super excited that Perseverance is going to be making its planetary window in the next couple days. Super excited for the launch. And then, of course, over the weekend, we're looking to get Bob and Doug back here. And then, as you point out, for Artemis 1, here's the launch vehicle stage adapter floating up on Pegasus as we speak for the SLS program. And so those are 3 different programs, major events happening here at the Kennedy Space Center. What better place to be? I'm incredibly proud and honored. For me, I just want to say for Perseverance, that helicopter on Mars, being a former helicopter pilot, I am super excited to be able to see that fly. Thanks, Josh.
Awesome, good. So we're going to jump into questions here. I know we've already had some coming in, so I'm going to just ask this, and I'm going to kind of just say, hey, jump in whoever wants to here. The first one, my 7-year-old aspires to be one of your future Mars colonists. She's curious how you foresee your expectations of human exploration and astronaut training to change as we move ahead. Will there be more desirable skills for the Mars exploration missions that she can concentrate on now? So Zena, you want to take a stab at that one first? So how do you think astronaut training will evolve?
Sure. Well, I think one of the most important things as we're going farther and farther afield is learning how to work in space for a long time. And with that in mind, you know, if you look at the newest astronaut class, my class, the Turtles, we come from so many different backgrounds. You know, we have everyone from military pilots to microbiologists like myself. We have engineers, we have geoscientists. So there's no single path to becoming an astronaut. But the one thing that we all have in common is we loved working in teams and, you know, being able to collaborate and work together when you are stuck in a vehicle, you know, far away from your home planet for a long time is really important. So whatever you do, just follow your passion, but, you know, be able to work with people and collaborate.
So before you step back, I know that every astronaut class gets a nickname, and you just said yours was the Turtles. are those all inside stories, or is that something that you can share with us briefly?
Yeah, so the tradition is that the previous class names the incoming class, and the inspiration for ours was actually at our class announcement, and Vice President Pence was there. He told an anecdote from his childhood, an idiom where, you know, if you see a turtle on a fence post, you know he didn't get there alone. And the sentiment behind this is that anyone that you see on this stage today didn't get there alone. It's thanks to the family members, the mentors, the teachers, everyone who worked hard to help us get there. And so it was with that in mind that we were named the Turtles.
Awesome. Yeah, so nothing derogatory there. That is all good news.
Exactly.
So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.